And a warm welcome to JD Smith. Congratulations on a #1 on the Air chart this week, and the physical disc, the Soul Searching album, #5 on the ARIA physical disc chart last week as well. So I guess that makes you a pop star, doesn't it?
I guess so. Maybe. Who knows? I can't believe you've got a physical copy there. I love it.
Yes. For people who probably don't understand that music, can actually be played in a much better quality than streaming services, this is how you do it.
It actually does sound different when you play it on a CD.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
The quality is so much better. Yeah. And you get all the notes, you get all the thank yous, you get everything in there, photos, and yeah. I still go out and buy CDs. I love it.
We're here to talk about your album, JD, Soul Searching, which is beautiful stuff. And, I have had the privilege of seeing you perform the songs live. Let's talk about the title track first up. I mean, working with a legend, Rick Price. How did that come about?
Oh, man, he was just so lovely. He was so nice. My manager and record label, Robert Rigby, with Ambition Music, put me in touch with Rick. And we had to write during the lockdown. So it was via Zoom, which was strange. But we kind of got together and sort of spoke about what we wanted to write about. And I think at the time I was like, I need to write something about how much of a struggle it is to get a foot in the door in the music industry, but always picking myself up when I'm down. So that was kind of where Soul Searching came from. It's a pretty catchy, poppy, jazzy tune, I reckon.
And the perfect choice as the title track for the album.
Well, I think that's kind of what the whole thing is about, trying to find yourself, trying to find your way into the industry. I kind of touched on that kind of theme throughout the album.
Well, let's go into your entry into the music industry, because you have had quite the career up until this point. We can see the back of your room there with the Cats posters and the Dirty Dancing posters. You have done
a few posters up here.
All right. So these are shows that you've been
all around the room. Yeah, they're the Ten Tenors ones there. Yeah.
The Ten Tenors. All right. So, all right. Well, let's start with the theatre, and then we'll talk a bit about the Ten Tenors. But working in theatre, where every single night you're coming out and you're doing a verbatim show every night. You're telling a story. Does that make it easier or harder as a performer that, it's already there? There's no improvisation that you have to think of along the way.
The hardest part of that is keeping it fresh and new every night. But the audiences help with that. You kind of work off their reactions. And I mean, I was in Wicked for a very long time, and that's one of the best musicals I reckon ever written. So I was lucky that I still loved it after, I think I was in it for like 4 years. So after 4 years of playing the same role over and over, I must have loved it.
But it was a great production. It was a massive production. It was an expensive production, wasn't it?
Yes. Yeah. One of the biggest shows ever made. And it's coming back next year, which is exciting.
Mm-hmm. Well, that'll be the third time round.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, people just love it. It sells out. So.
And the Ten Tenors, you're in there with a whole lot of other singers getting up and performing every night, where I guess you have to treat your voice like an instrument in a situation like that, don't you?
I mean, Ten Tenors is one of the hardest gigs I've ever done in my life. It's 2 hours of non-stop singing. You have solos here and there, but you're always singing something during somebody else's solo. It's really hard to keep your voice fit, but I think after doing show after show, touring, sleeping on a bus, your voice kind of builds up to, to be vocal cords of steel, I guess. I think that's the thing you try to achieve, to be able to just go out there and give it all you got every night. I've been very, very lucky with the Ten Tenors. I've toured the world. I've recorded 2 albums with them, Wish You Were Here and Lovers in the Air. Lovers in the Air is still on the charts today. People are still buying it, which is amazing. It's a couple of years old. But I've always wanted to be a solo artist. I see myself as a solo artist first, and then I'm just kind of going off and doing these other things in between.
Well, not only as a singer, you are also very much the songwriter on the Soul Searching album.
Yeah, I wrote 7 of those tracks, 7 originals and then 5 covers. I've always been writing songs. I think I wrote my first song when I was 10. It was called Without You. I don't remember how it goes, but I remember it was called Without You. And I just, I kind of write songs playing the guitar and singing melodies at the same time, and constantly writing. There's a lot of crap, but you know when you've got something good, you're like, okay, that one has to be recorded.
What about the song Next to Me? Now, this is the one that you do with Cosima. Every other song is just you, but this one in particular, you've chosen to do the duet with Cosima. Was it written as a duet?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. It was written with the intention of bringing on a female voice, and I wanted someone with a really strong kind of, I'm really attracted to a tone in a voice. I don't need all the fancy stuff to go with it. I just want a beautiful tone, and Cosima's voice is just incredible. So I contacted her and sent her the song, and she said yes straight away.
You do one song on the album, which is a cover written by Paul Williams, but better known as a female vocal. Karen Carpenter is probably best known for it, but Barbra Streisand, I Won't Last a Day Without You, is also an interesting choice.
Robert, my manager, sent me that song. He sent me the Barbra version. I actually never heard the song before. I love the Carpenters, but I heard it and I was like, this is beautiful. And the phrasing of how, Barbara's singing it, I was like, how does she do that? But I loved the song as soon as I heard it. It is an unusual choice, but I think it fits really well in there. It was produced beautifully by Michael Cristiano in Melbourne, and she's got a cool vibe and a great story.
And going into the studio with Michael Cristiano must have been fantastic in itself too, because pretty much talking about the Rolls Royce of producers. You're going to get a very sleek sounding record when you come out after working with somebody as professional as that.
I'm glad that how amazing he is. You kind of go in there and you just trust everything that he does, everything that he says. I haven't experienced that before in a studio where a producer is just like, oh no, this is where the harmony should go, this is where it should sit, and he can just sing it to you perfectly, what it is, what it should be. But he does give you freedom to kind of do your own thing. But yeah, slick, polished, beautiful production. He's very, very good.
Yeah. Did you choose all of the covers that you did on here? I'm thinking in particular of the Ed Sheeran song that you do, which is an unusual choice. How do you feel?
I'm starting to think that all of the choices were unusual. No, this one was also sent to me by Peter Carpin. He's like a god in the music biz. He thought that I would do a great version of this song. It's a beautiful Ed Sheeran song, and he never released it as a single. So I kind of like that. I like how you can kind of do a cover of a song that's not that well known, but still a really awesome track. And that was another song that I had never heard, but as soon as I heard it, loved it, wanted to record it straight away.
Something that is very well known as My Girl, and covering a Motown song, because so many people have done Motown songs, and in particular that particular song. How do you find your own sort of lane to go in when you're covering a song that has been done by so many?
I think just completely change it. I was just like, how these days people are bringing back all those old songs and just kind of doing them in all different kinds of ways. Like, what's that Fleetwood Mac song? Thunder Only Happens. What's that? Dreams. It comes back in waves of it just being completely different than the original. So I thought, what song would be great to do that? And My Girl popped into my head, and we kind of just did a ballad version, like a really slow, sleek version, concentrating on the vocals and all the harmonies. It's a pretty cool track. I love that track.
Yeah. Walking in Memphis is another song that, people my age know it quite well. You've also had the opportunity to go for that walk through Memphis, haven't you? Did the city match up with the song?
It's a very cool vibe there. You know, I mean, I've been lucky to travel all around the States and all down in the South, and, you know, New Orleans. They say New Orleans. We say New Orleans. But no, Memphis is very cool. And to think that I was walking on Beale Street, and I've always loved that song. Just very cool. And I went to Graceland, and yeah, it's nice to put a you know, face to the name. Is that what you say? Face to the name. Yeah.
Well, the album is Soul Searchin, as we said. Once again, congratulations on getting this one into the charts around Australia, and no doubt many plans to get out and perform the thing live.
Yeah, for sure. That's the plan. Yeah.
JD Smith at Noise 11.